right, peeps, we're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Bentz, and thank you so much for joining me on a special edition of the AEW Insider. This is the final part two of my top 10 zombie films of all time. Remember to check us out on social media, on Facebook, YouTube, and all podcasting platforms. It's the AEW Insider, and on Twitter, it's the AEW Insider 1. All right, let's get back to the countdown. Number 5, Zombie. That's what it's called in the United States. It was originally called Zombie here and Dawn of the Dead overseas. But now, since that happened, they did change it to Zombie 2, you might know it as. 1979. An abandoned sailboat drifts into the New York harbor and is boarded by harbor patrol officers. One officer bleeds to death after a zombie bites him in the jugular vein. The zombie then goes to attack the other, but is shot and falls overboard. The police question the boat owner's daughter, and she enlists the help of some people and goes on a search for her father. This movie is one of the Godfathers also. Besides Night of the Living Dead, what have you, this was made in 79, and it's fucking nuts. It has some of the two of the best scenes that have ever been done in horror. There's this scene when a woman actually gets a wood splinter through her eye. So say they get to the jungle, wherever the fuck it is. I forget where it's at. Haiti will say, what have you. I don't even know. But they get to this jungle. There's cabins and shit like that. This zombie is trying to get this woman. Say she's hiding on the other side of the wall. He just busts his hands to the wall. He grabs her by her head, and he actually pulls her eyeball, her fucking whole eye, right onto a splinter piece of wood. It is insane. It's one of the best kills in horror movie history, never mind zombie history. And then also, this is one of the best scenes, once again, in any movie, period. They actually have a fucking fight with the zombie underwater against a shark. And I'm not joking. This isn't bullshit. This is a zombie versus shark. They're biting each other. They're fucking bleeding. There's blood going everywhere. Zombies on the fucking shark, like riding him in underwater, biting him and shit. They're choking him. Yo, it's one of the best scenes ever. If you have never seen, which I know you haven't unless you've seen this fucking movie, a zombie fight a great white shark, you have to watch Zombie 2 in the US or Zombie overseas. Number 4, Dawn of the Dead 2004, the remake, starring Sarah Polley and Ving Rhames. It's directed by Zack Snyder. When her husband is attacked by a zombified neighbor, Anna manages to escape only to realize her entire Milwaukee neighborhood has been overrun by the Walking Dead. Now, you know how remakes go. They're definitely hit or miss. Most of them suck. If the original Dawn of the Dead wasn't as good as it fucking is, this one would be better. But this one is not bad by any means. The only really difference from there's difference in story a little bit here and there, but the real big difference between the original Dawn of the Dead is that these zombies are quick, because they got it from 28 days later. But this remake is so fucking awesome. The cast is awesome. She gets with a group of survivors. They find a big local shopping mall. They hold up hut there. They're trying to survive and live normal lives while the zombie invasion's outside. Somehow the zombies get inside the mall. Shit hits the fan. This movie is amazing. Number 4, Dawn of the Dead, 2004. Number 3 on our list, Night of the Living Dead, 1990. Starring Tony Todd and directed by horror special effects master and legend, Tom Savini. This is another one. This is another remake. It could be hit or miss, especially when you're tackling Night of the Living Dead. Well, let me tell you, this one does not disappoint at all. To me, this one is better than the original. I like this better than the original. Obviously, it's higher on the list. But my uncle and I are big movie fans. My uncle loves zombie flicks. Ever since I was a kid, I had a shitload of uncles. There was always horror movies on. But we lived in Pennsylvania. We were born in New Jersey. My uncle comes up from New Jersey when this movie came out, and he took me to see it up here in PA. And man, what a treat was it, seriously. This movie's so great. Candyman's in it, it kicks ass. The story is just like the original. For reasons unknown, the recently deceased are rising from the grave as flesh-hungry zombies. Fleeing from the undead horde, a small group of survivors, including Barbara, Ben, and more sequester themselves in a remote farmhouse. So if you love The Night of the Living Dead, imagine it just newer, about 20 years fucking later, better special effects. I mean, how could they not be great special effects when you have Tom Savini directing and his crew doing fucking special effects? It's ridiculous. But you have to check this out. Night of the Living Dead, 1990, number 3 on our list. All right. And number 2 on my list of my top zombie/infected films of all times is Return of the Living Dead, 1985, starring Tom Matthews and Miguel Nunez. When Foreman Frank shows his new employee Freddy a secret military experiment in the supply warehouse, the two klutzes accidentally release a gas that reanimates corpses into flesh-eating zombies. Now, these guys obviously love George Romero also. These zombies want brains. That's what they eat, brains. But this is a comedy. It's not a comedy, it's a spoof. So it is funny, but it's very gory, and it's just one of the best zombie films ever made. You got that's part of the story that they told you about the guys who unleashed the virus, but there's many, many other people in the story. You got these group of kids in the fucking 80s who are punk fucking rockers, break dancers, what have you. They're all chilling together. They're in a cemetery getting fucking wasted and naked, and then the dead starts coming alive. So everybody comes together. The dead's taken over. 1980s. It's funny. You can't fucking beat it. Number 2 on the list, Return of the Living Dead. I can't say enough about that movie. All right, now let's get back and finish our honorable mentions. The first, Train to Busan, 2016. A man, his estranged daughter, and other passengers become trapped on a speeding train during a zombie outbreak in South Korea. Now, this is a Japanese horror film. Japanese literally pretty much make the best horror films. If you don't know that, you should know. A ton of films that we see in this country were originally Japanese horror films, but we can't do them right because they usually suck compared to the originals. But just imagine a zombie outbreak, but you're on a fucking speeding train. Those trains are big and all that, but where the fuck are you going to hide? Where are you going to go? And you got your daughter with you and you can't even get off? It's fucking insane. If you have not seen Train to Busan, you have to see it. Also, an honorable mention is The Serpent and the Rainbow, 1988. Now, this is zombies, but like in a voodoo sense. I'll tell you. In a time of social and political unrest in Haiti, anthropologist Dennis Allen travels to the torn country to study voodoo. It's a drug used in religious practices to turn victims into living zombies. With the help of a witch doctor, a fellow researcher, Dennis places together a deadly mystery. But as Dennis uncovers the secrets behind the mysterious powder, he must evade the Haitian authorities who view his research as a political threat. So this movie's insane, man. Seriously, it's friggin' awesome. But it's in the 80s. This guy goes over there, and the voodoo over there is fucking real, dude. They want to wipe him out. All this crazy shit's happening. Serpent and the Rainbow is a classic. And our last honorable mention is, and this probably should have made the list, but it's so hard with these lists, is Reanimator, 1985. It's loosely based on H.P. Lovecraft's classic horror tale. It's about Herbert West. He's a young scientist who has a good head on his shoulders and another one on the lab table in front of him. So this guy works in a laboratory. He comes up with this fucking serum. If you see the movie, it glows green. It looks really, really cool. If somebody's dead or something's dead, he can reanimate it. It doesn't even have to just be a whole dead body. It could be a fucking head. It could be a chicken. It could be whatever. But of course, when you reanimate them, they don't come back all nice. It's like Pet Cemetery. They want to fucking kill you. This movie is so classic, it's not even funny. You have to see 1985's Reanimator. All right, folks, we're at the number 1 of our list. Let's hit the drum rolls, please. My number 1 pick of my top 10 zombie/infective films of all time is Dawn of the Dead, 1978. Directed by George Romero. Tom Savini's involved. Tom Savini stars in it. This is like the remake we talked about before, but this was the original. There's no better. This is the fucking mecca of a zombie film. As hordes of zombies swarm over the U.S., a terrified populace tries everything in their power to escape the attack of the undead. But neither cities nor the countryside prove safe. In Pennsylvania, Radio station employee Steven and his girlfriend Francine escape in the station helicopter. They are accompanied by two renegade SWAT members. The group retreats to a haven of an enclosed shopping center to make what could be humanity's last stand. So this, like I said, is the Mecca. It's in the shopping mall. It's in the 70s. Tom Savini's in it. He does the makeup in it. The special effects are so awesome. You'll see somebody's whole fucking intestine get ripped out and everything the fuck else. Huge chunks ripped out of their neck. Big bullet holes in the fucking head. These guys are in the mall. If they need guns or it's the winter time or they want to go shopping, they'll just grab a shopping cart and go store to store. They're eating there. They're living life. Big TVs, all that bullshit. But of course, something happens and the zombies find a way in, and then all hell breaks loose. This one also had an alternate ending too. I won't say what the original ending is, but in the movie, the one chick is pregnant. In the original ending, they're on a roof in a helicopter, and she actually can't take it. And she actually steps up into the helicopter, and she has the top of her head chopped off, which is fucking awesome. She just ends it. But you got to see the movie. I mean, I could say, because I mean, how could you not have fucking see Dawn of the Dead? But I don't want to ruin it. You know the original ending then. But I can't say the other part that's switched either, because that'll give the ending away. But anyway, like I said, this is the number one. There is no higher. This is definitely should be top number one on any of your fucking lists. If there was anything I did miss or anything you're pissed about, you think something should have been higher or lower, with these lists, besides like the top three, the order doesn't matter, because seriously, some of them are so good I just can't decide what order to put them in. But I hope I did it justice. Anyway, we'll be back around Christmas time. I got the top 10 horror movies in Christmas, top 10 Christmas movie period, blah blah blah, and other special stuff. Definitely check out the channel if you're one of our wrestler fans. I got tons of footage from AEW Wednesday night Dynamite Live in Philly. Check out our Friday the 13th videos, our movies to watch in October videos, what have you. Please listen to our podcast. Check us out on Facebook and on YouTube, AEW Insider. And definitely check us out on Twitter, the AEW Insider 1. All right, peeps, as always, I'm your host, Lee Bentz. I hope you enjoyed this special episode of the AEW Insiders, my top 10 zombie/infected films of all time. Ciao, peeps.